Here in Maine, protesters have been on the streets in several communities, and we have team coverage as those voices grow louder. News Center Maine's Alex Haskell is in Bangor this morning. Sean Stackhouse is in Portland, where a protest carried right into the early hours of the morning. Sean, what's the latest on the situation there?
Sharon, good morning. Well, things are quiet in downtown Portland on the intersection of Franklin and Middle. Some folks have been seen taking photos with signs that are laid out outside of Portland Police Headquarters behind me. But it's a very different scene than when I arrived shortly after midnight. And protesters had been out for hours by the time that I got to the scene and continued well into the evening, dispersing around 1:30 this morning. Now, the protest began last night at 7 as those in attendance marched to the Portland Police Station for a peaceful demonstration. Protesters chanted, shared stories, and at one point, hundreds chanting, "I can't breathe," with their hands behind their backs and laying on their stomachs. Around 9, when organizers originally planned for the protest to end, the tone started to change. The glass at the storefront of Urban Outfitters on Middle Street was broken. Other buildings around the city were spray painted as well. A group of protesters then carried on to the intersection of Franklin and Middle Street, where it would stay for a while. And this is where protesters came face to face with police from Portland State Police, Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, as well as assisting officers from a few nearby towns. At the evening's most tense moments, police in riot gear were lined up at the corner of Franklin and Middle. Officers were seen using pepper spray, firing blank rounds, and rubber pepper balls in an effort to control the crowd. Some protesters did throw objects like water bottles at officers. Organizers, however, say rallies like this need to happen in order to see change.
We're sick and tired of just name after name after name. We're here for change, and you can see what's happening across the country. It's bigger than any of us. This is no longer a movement, it's a revolution now.
Now, protests did continue, and there were arrests made into the early hours of this morning, but it is unclear now just how many were made, and there are more protests expected today across the state. But Portland was not the only city with a protest taking place yesterday, and there was one in Bangor as well. We turn now to News Center Maine's Alex Haskell for a look at what was happening in that neck of the woods. Alex?
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I'm live here in Davenport Park. For those of you not familiar where this is, the casino is to my right and downtown Bangor is just over to my left. Now, this morning we started at Pierce Park. We're at 5 o'clock last night. Our protest began and we showed you marchers on the move. And now as we go to video, you can see why they came here to Davenport Park. It's because it's directly across from the Bangor Police Headquarters. This is where the rally turned to more of a demonstration as ralliers crossed Main Street and right up to police officers shouting Black Lives Matter and asking the police to take a knee. We spoke to one woman in the group who explains why she thinks these demonstrations are important.
I think they help spread the word. I definitely think that, you have to be anti-racist every day. You have to put in the work. The only way we're going to dismantle systemic racism is if we confront our personal racism.
Now, we did find this sign left here in Davenport Park from last night. It says, "I can't breathe." We aren't sure if any arrests were made here last night, but at least at the start of the rally, it seemed peaceful and focused. Live in Bangor, Alex Haskell, News Center, Maine.